it's Doug from the Rise Above Gym channel. I want to help you fix your posture and tighten your back with these foam roll exercises. Let's check it out. So I'm sure many of you have used a foam roller before, and it's just to hydrate tissues, open things up, and prepare yourself for exercise. It also can be used for recovery, so after workout you can roll on this, feel better, let things calm down. So life brings us forward, so that's a good thing, but also it can affect posture. So just think about everything we do, from driving to school to even sports. Everything's right in front of us and forward, and we tend to lose that extension, and then therefore our posture gets bad, and then it can put pressure on our low back, hips, and all those fun things down the road. So we're going to try to combat that with some of these exercises using a foam roll. Very simple to do. When you do these, I just want you to do them, to kind of relax everything, get everything to loosen up, increase mobility and flexibility, and not necessarily grind things out and make them hurt. Sometimes the hurt feels so good, but it kind of counterintuitive to what we're trying to do, which is to relax our body and get it prepped. So the first one I like is a simple press or fly, very similar to a dumbbell version of this. So I'm going to lie the roller down, and I'm going to lie on the roller longitudinally here. I'm going to support my spine. Now I'm just going to imagine I'm chest pressing. So I'm going to pull my elbows down and try to get them to touch the floor. And then I can change angles and pull a little higher, which is going to be a little bit harder. When I start to feel resistance, I slow it down so I can really try to time it evenly. And I'm trying not to arch my back upward. I'm trying to keep it pulled down, so I'm isolating the thoracic region. You can also open up this way, like a chest fly. So now I'm just changing angles, changing my arm, and trying to open up the chest. So I imagine I'm opening two big doors and just really opening up the chest and upper back, finding angles that work and finding some that are restrictive, even low ones, to open everything up. All right, the next one we're going to do I call a snow angel. So it's very similar to if you've ever traveled in the snow, and you lie down on your back and you make those movements with your arm and leg, and then when you stand up it looks like an angel. We're going to do the arm portion, not as fast, but similar. So again, I'm going to lie down on the roller longitudinally. Now I'm going to have my arms on the ground, and my goal is to keep my forearms on the ground. My elbows might pop a little bit in my upper arm, but I don't want to do this because I'm kind of faking flexibility. So I'm bending my elbows, and I'm sliding them as high as I can until they start to pop up. So if they start to pop up, that's where I'm going to stop, and that's my baseline. So I'm going to slide back down, and I'll go a little further. One arm may move a little more than the other. You can't see my other arm, but my left arm feels a little bit tighter, even though they feel pretty even. And I'll back off, and I'll slide again. I may be able to get a little further with a little bit of stretch, hold, back off. And I'm only backing off until I feel the resistance release. And this is the snow angel. This one's one of my favorites, thoracic extension. So thoracic is just the middle upper back. You got your cervical and your neck. Just think upper back, thoracic. We are going to sit against the roller. Now we're going to change positions. So you can start at your low back. I probably recommend starting a little bit higher, right under your scapula or your shoulder blades. The bottom peak of that is a good place to start. It's a little more supported. I'm supporting my hips. If I start low and then go into it, it could strain your low back. So I'm going to start a little higher with the roller on the back. And you're basically doing an old school crunch. I'm going to cross my arms. I'm going to take the shape of the roller. So I'm just going back, taking the shape. When I feel a little stretch, I'm just going to come back up. So there's my crunch. Now, what I'm trying to also do is make space here. So I'm not lifting my belly at all. I'm keeping my belly button pulled down, and I'm making space in this rib cage region to get that extension. So I'm kind of thinking about pulling myself apart. So I'm pulling down, coming back up. You may get a few free chiropractic pops in here. For the most part, that should be okay. Lastly, I'm keeping my head neutral, so I'm not cranking my neck down and trying to be relaxed there. Now, as I feel better, I'm gonna move the roller. For me, I'm moving it down. That's gonna get me more extension, less support. And I'll do a few reps this way, and I'll just work my way down until I feel comfortable. This is one that I really like. I give it to a lot of shoulder patients as well. This one is rotation. Now, we might think of rotation as bringing things forward, and it might, add more postural problems. It can, but if we can't rotate and we're fixed in the sagittal plane and we can't move this way, our posture is locked. But if we can rotate, one side moves forward, the other side moves back or opens up, like a closing door. One door closes, one door opens. That's going to help posture open up. So you should be able to rotate freely and pretty evenly on both sides. And this one can help out with that. What I'm going to do with this one, I call it the threading the needle or the thoracic rotation. I'm going to take my roller and I'm going to put it at a slight angle. I'll have my hands down in front of me. I'm going to take my far hand, palm up, put it on the roller, and I'm going to thread the needle. I'm going to rotate and then come back. So this facilitates the rotation. I'm not turning my hips that much. I'm trying to rotate just in my upper back, my thoracic area and rib cage area. So I'm just doing a few reps here. I can change angles. I can even go back. Probably won't get as far. And then the goal is to just kind of get further along as you do it, opening up the rib cage, working on that rotation, which will help your posture. I have two more to show you. A wall is a great way to get support, so we can do these one standing, because we're going to get the front or the pec region. So the pecs are your chest. If the pecs are tight from a lot of forwardness during the day, or let's say you're doing a lot of bench pressing, just imagine these muscles pulling you forward, and that's going to affect your posture. So what the goal with this is to roll and to loosen them up, which will relax these muscles, lengthen them, and then help open up your posture. It also can affect your shoulder. If your shoulder's tight and rolled in a lot, you can get impingement syndrome and tendonitis and all those things too. So it's a good idea to do these things. You can use a big roller, just rolling the pecs, and this is kind of like it sounds. It's going to kind of open up. It works, but it's not the most comfortable thing. I'm going to use this one so also you can see in the video a little bit more. This is a nice one. It's a smaller, obviously, ball, and you can kind of get some rotational movement out of it. So what I like to do for the chest or the pecs is put it against my pec. I like to bring my arm behind me because it kind of opens up the shoulder, so it pulls the shoulder open. It exposes the attachments or the tendons here, which I'm able to gently, keyword gently, roll on there. I'm not grinding them out, just moving around. The ball, like I said, is nice because I can get these rotational type of movements. And right now I'm kind of in that junction point where the attachment is to the shoulder. So I'm just gently rolling in there and finding little spots that might be a little tighter, and then just gently coaxing them to loosen up. And then hopefully that will loosen up my posture, get my chest open, and make my shoulder feel a whole lot better. Lastly, we're going to go back to the big roller. You can have even a medium-sized roller with this one, but we're going to do a serratus wall slide. Serratus is just a fancy word for their chest muscles technically that kind of attach a little bit lower underneath the big pec muscles into the ribs. They help with pressing movements. They also help with breathing, rotation. So we want to open those up much along the same lines as the pecs to kind of get our thoracic region open. So I'm going to take a foam roller. I'm going to put it against the wall. I'm going to put my forearms against the foam roller. It's just going to be just outside my body. You can bring them in or out a little bit. I'm going to try to get pretty close. Now, if I have trouble, I'll go out here a little bit more, but I want it to be close. I'm going to pull my elbows in towards the wall, and I'm just gliding up. Now, when I'm gliding up, I'm not leaning back to fake the flexibility. So I'm pulling down, just working that extension, and I'm thinking about driving my elbows forward too a little bit. That helps. And it's opening up in here, just underneath the lats, those serratus muscles. It's working your lats a little bit too. But in theory here, the more I can loosen up and the more I can get overhead without those muscles pulling me downward, I can open up my chest and my thoracic region. So there you have it. Those are some of my go-tos for opening up the chest, fixing my posture, and I'm actually feeling pretty good just after those. So a good time to do them is, like I said, before your workout. You can even do them after, especially if you had a heavy flexion day, bench press or dumbbell presses, or even a lot of school and homework or playing music, pulling you forward. You can jump on, do these things. It takes 5 minutes to do, and you should feel a whole lot better. So I want to thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please like it down below. Also consider subscribing. Put a new video out every week. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.